it's time to begin our gnome canvas. So I have the painting that I did for the box right here, and you are going to be creating your own gnome. So this is what you need to start. I have covered my table, I've put on an apron. You need to make sure you have something down on your surface. I have a cup of rinse water. I just used an old cup. I have some paper towels, my paint brushes, I have my glitter, an eraser and a pencil. You have a pencil sharpener to sharpen your pencil, and then I have my acrylic paint colors. You can also use your jewels if you want to, so have those out. For your jewels, you can use just any kind of glue you have around the house. And then I have my shape, which is the hat. So go ahead, gather your supplies. Once you've gathered them, we are ready to start our project. Supplies, and you're ready to go. One thing I forgot to mention is I do like to have my blow dryer. That way I can dry in between. So for today, we are gonna start by doing our background. Our gnome is going to be outside. So you're gonna need your blue to start with. In order to get started, I am going to draw a very, very light line. You can barely see it, but just a line to show where my sky goes and where my grass starts. Once I have that, I'm gonna get the bigger paintbrush. I'm gonna get my blue and I'm gonna get my white. I will start by getting my brush full of white. I even have it on my hand. I'm just gonna put some on the canvas, kind of messily. You can't even really see it because it's white. Once I have some on there, I am gonna dip right into the blue and I am gonna start on my sky. I will start really down here. I put the blue on top of the white and you can see that they are mixing. So I am going to take and I am going to fill in the whole entire sky. Once I get the sky filled in, we're gonna do the grass. So use your brush, make nice big strokes, dip repeatedly into the blue, but don't dip into the white anymore because we don't want our white to end up being blue because we need it for other things. If you didn't get enough white, you can use your other paintbrush. So I can take this brush, I can scoop it into the white, and I can add a little bit more on there. I'm just gonna stick that brush over there. I'm not gonna rinse them yet. And I am just gonna blend, 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 blend. So I'm doing this in a sloppy way to get my canvas covered. Once I get the whole entire sky done though, I'm gonna do what I call sweeping the canvas. I go back, all the way across, all the way back, sweeping across, all the way across, all the way back, all the way across, all the way back. And I do this several times so that I don't see my actual brush strokes, but so that I have a nice even canvas. So all the way across, all the way back. All right, I'm not gonna dry my brush before I start on the grass. I am simply going to, I'm not even gonna rinse my brush. Blue and green can be mixed because you need yellow and blue to make green. So I call those friends on the color wheel. They're right next door to each other and they mix together to make one color. So when I am ready, I am just gonna dip my brush with the blue in it right into the green, and I'm gonna fill in just this little bottom part of the canvas, like so, just the back and forth. I don't want big blobs of paint. Those are hard to dry. I wanna make sure I smooth that, go all the way across and back, and I'm gonna fill in my grass. This is called my background, and it is a landscape or a horizon. So this is our horizon line. It divides the sky from the earth. When I fill it in, I've got my grass, I've got my sky, and now I'm ready to blow dry. So I'm gonna pause. You guys can pause as well once you get your blue and green done. Come back when you have blow dried. See you in just. Okay, I have adjusted my camera so you can see just the canvas and my hands, but this way you can see what I'm doing. I am going to take this template. This template is the gnome's hat. I'm gonna grab my pencil. Notice that I have the grass here and I have some space here. We wanna have room for his beard. I am going to use my pencil and I'm going to very, very carefully trace the hat onto my canvas. Sometimes I go a little bit out of the line, but it usually goes right on my template, which makes it just fine. All right, so I have that traced on there just like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna add the gnome's nose. So once I've traced it, I am gonna put, and I like to make a big kind of oval shaped round nose for my gnome. Once I have the gnome, I'm gonna just start right at the edge. I said gnome and I meant nose. I don't know if you noticed that. All right, I'm gonna start right here and I'm gonna draw my beard. My beard is actually gonna cover most of my gnome's body, except for we're gonna put some little feet sticking out. We're not gonna see the eyes. If you want eyes, you can do them. But a lot of times when you see gnomes, you don't actually see their eyes. They're covered by his hat that is quite large. For the feet, I am going to put one little shoe and another little shoe just sticking out right there. So once I have that done, I am ready to paint again. We are gonna have to do several layers of paint so that when you see this guy, I have added polka dots to the hat. We're gonna paint the color of the hat. You can paint your beard white or you can paint it like gray, or you can use the brown. On the brown, we're gonna talk a little bit in just a second about that. We'll come back and add the details in just a minute. So we're going to start with the hat. You may use any color you want to. I used red on my first one, and so I think that I am going to do, I'm gonna do a yellow hat. So I've got my yellow paint. My brushes that I used for the background, I wanna make sure that I have rinsed those. I'm gonna use the bigger brush to start with, and I'm just gonna dip it right in the yellow, and I am going to do the outline first inside the pencil line. It's okay if I go over just a little bit, but you wanna try to stay within the line. Where did that go? Here we go. So mine is getting a fun yellow hat. I don't think I'll do polka dots this time. If you want polka dots, you have a sponge that you can use that was in your crate. So sponge for the polka dots. Here we go. I'm gonna go all the way around to the tippy top of the hat. So I have my whole hat filled in. You've noticed as I am brushing that I am also smoothing out the paint. I don't want big lumps of paint, even if it doesn't cover all the way. I am going to have to do a second coat on this, and that's okay. I want to make sure it's dry before I do the second coat. So I will go to the blow dryer and blow dry this in just a minute. I'm gonna switch brushes. I'm gonna rinse this brush. I've got my smaller brush now, and I am going to make the nose, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm gonna need to mix a little bit of brown and a little bit of white. So I am gonna take the white, just like I did for the sky, and I'm gonna put it right there on the nose. I'm actually gonna rinse my brush really good over here. You can probably hear me swishing, but you can't see it too well. Let's see if I can get that in the camera. Yeah. Let's not worry about it, you know what I'm doing. All right, so I'm swishing my brush, making sure it gets dried on the paper towel, and now I'm gonna dip into that brown, making sure that I fill my brush. I'm gonna just mix it right there on the canvas. So see how I do my nose? It makes a lighter brown. There we go. Around and around and around. You can even make it overlap the hat just a little bit. All right, so I've got that done. Now that my nose and my hat are done, I am gonna go ahead and I am gonna stop and I'm gonna use the blow dryer. That way I can go ahead and do my second coat of paint. The other reason I wanna stop and use the blow dryer is I don't wanna mix the beard color into the other colors of wet paint. So while I am blow drying, you can finish up your hat and your nose. I stuck my brushes in the water so that my paint does not dry in my brushes. All right, once you've gotten your hat done and your nose done, we're gonna blow dry and then turn the video back on. Okay, I am back and I am very dry. I'm gonna go ahead and do my beard before I do my second coat on my hat. So I'm just gonna use white. I like a gnome with a white beard. If you want gray, put some of your white on top of one of these lids and then add little bitty bits of black to it until you have the color of gray that you want. That's how you're gonna mix and make gray if you want a gray beard. If you want a brown beard, just use that brown. It'll be a light brown unless you have some dark brown left over from another kit. Oh, let's see. So I just outlined like I normally do. I like to get that outline in there, and notice I did the nose, outline all of that. And then I'm pretty free to just brush and fill in that space. So it always helps me to outline first. There we go. All the way. Once I get the white done, here we go, I'm almost done. It's gonna need to dry. I'm gonna let it dry on its own for just a little bit because I'm actually gonna do a second coat on my hat. So once you've filled your beard in, you can go ahead and swish that brush really good, dry it on your paper towel, and then you can put a second coat, if you need one, on your hat. So now I am going to just get in there with the yellow, gonna do my outline. I gotta loop it up over that nose, get it in there, and here we go. Go around. Uh-oh, I got a little more out of the line than what I wanted to, but that's okay. It's just a little accident, and I will figure out what I wanna do with that later. Here we go. So filling in the hat with the second coat, and then I'm gonna go to the blow dryer. So go ahead and fill in your second coat. After you have blow dried the hat, you can go in and you can do a second coat on the beard. Come back when you've finished, sorry, I didn't mean figured out, I'm gonna wipe this. Did you see how I just got the little paper towel wet? I wanna be careful. Sometimes you can get a grown-up's help for this. But notice how I've gotten it on my canvas. I'm gonna fix that real quick, and the way that I fix it is the same way I painted the sky. I just get a little bit of white. I've lost my white, there it is. Get a little bit of white on my brush. I'm gonna put it right there on top of what I've done. I've made sure I've rinsed the yellow out. I'm dipping in the blue. And I'm just gonna add, see that? That's how you fix a little boo-boo. Acrylic paint is awesome because acrylic paint will cover other colors. And so that means if you make a boo-boo, you can always just paint over it. All right, there we go. I'm good. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to blow dry it. When I come back, I will have had a second coat on the beard. I've already got my second coat on my hat. My nose is ready to go, and we're gonna be ready to do the shoes. You go do the same thing. So pause the video and meet me back here when you're ready. Okay, I have done my second coat on my hat and I have my beard done. So now I'm ready to add some details. When you look at this one, all my details are things like flowers and little mushrooms, and there's a sun up here. So I am gonna start by putting a sun up in the sky. I like to do just the little corner, and so you can draw with your pencil however you want to do your sun. I'm gonna make the little triangles go around it, and there is my sun. I also have his hat, and I need to decide what I'm gonna do with his hat. I did polka dots already on a different hat, so this time I actually think I am going to draw a pattern of hearts on his hat. You can do whatever you want to do since it's yours. So if you want polka dots, make polka dots. If you want to stripe his hat, I love the idea of a striped hat. If you want to put a flower on the hat, put a flower on the hat. So however you feel inspired, go ahead and do that. So I've got all my hearts drawn and ready to go. I haven't done the feet yet. We'll come back to that in a minute. I like mushrooms. I think they are very foresty, and gnomes live in the forest. To make a mushroom, I am gonna draw an arch like I'm drawing a rainbow. I'm gonna put a line across here, and then I'm gonna give it a stem, just like that. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna make a mushroom over here too. Let's see how I wanna do that. I wanna do a great big arch like I'm doing a rainbow, close it off with a line, and then put the stem on it. If you want a flower, you can do a flower. If you want his arm, let me show you this. I did a little arm on this guy and it's holding a flower. And so if you want an arm, let me show you how I did that. I just drew a little couple of lines, closed it so it's kind of a rectangle right there. I put his fingers just like 1, 2, 3. He's a gnome, he's not a real creature, and so he doesn't have to have a real hand. And then I am gonna draw a stem for my flower, and then I am going to draw the little circle for the middle, and then I'm gonna put some petals on my flower. I can also, if I want to, add a little leaf to my flower. So there would be the leaf. Now I'm ready to paint the rest of it. Now I am going to save the shoes for last. If you do black, sometimes it's really, really hard to get the black out of the brush. I am going to start with the red. You can do your mushrooms any color you want. I just like red mushrooms, that's all. So I'm gonna paint my mushroom toppers red. There's my first one, and again, I'm just using the smaller brush, and I am being very, very careful to stay in the lines by outlining first. There's my flower. I also think since I have the red on my brush, I'm gonna do the middle of my flower red. You can do it any color you want. And then I have hearts on my hat. I think I'm going to do different colors of hearts. So I'm gonna fill in that first heart red, and I think I'll do one other heart red, but I don't want all of my flowers to be red. So that's everything that I would like to be red. I'm gonna rinse my brush because I am done with my red. Now, I think that I will do some pink. So I'm gonna get the pink and I'm gonna do a pink heart. Here we go. I'm gonna fill that in and I'm gonna do, let's do another pink heart right there. While I still have the pink on my brush, I'm gonna do the petals on my flower. So I think those will look nice with pink. Here we go, pink. And pink and pink, and now I have a cute little flower. I rinse my brush again. I'm gonna go ahead and do the sun. For the sun, I've got an orange, and so I'm actually just gonna get that orange. You can do yellow if you want to. If it doesn't quite cover, which sometimes that happens, remember that you can always, always, always stop the video, and then you can blow dry. So if I need a second coat of anything, or if two things are touching and I don't want them to, that's when I want to stop the video. I'm only gonna do my sun orange. I'm gonna dry that brush and I'm ready for something else. Let's see. I am going to get purple. Ooh, I like the idea of having some purple in there. So I'm gonna do some purple on my hat. My brush has a little bit too much water in it, so I'm gonna dry it again. If you notice that your paint is runny, you might need to dry your brush. And then I'm gonna rinse my brush because I also would like a blue heart on my hat. So I'm gonna get that same blue, except for I'm not gonna add the white to it this time, and I'm gonna add that little heart. And now that I have one blue heart, I have two of every other color, so I'm gonna try, maybe I'll come down here and make just a smaller blue heart. I just did that without drawing. Oh, that's very cute. And now that I've done that, I think I want an even littler one. So I've got some different size hearts on there. All right, now I have to decide if I want my shirt to match my hat. So you can do a different color for your shirt, but I'm just gonna do the yellow. So I'm gonna get in and do my shirt. I'm gonna have to blow dry that for sure and do a second coat, but that's fine for now. I am gonna do the green stem. So I've got the littlest brush. You can't really see right there where the green is because it's covered, but you could mix in a little white if you wanna see the green a little bit better. So I could actually get in the white and make it a lighter green. See how I'm kind of mixing right on there. Just don't overdo the white, but then you'll be able to see that bottom stem. I'm gonna rinse my brush again, and I am just about done with my painting. The next thing I'm gonna do is his hand. His hand's gonna be the exact same way that I did the nose. I wanna use the brown but I want to have a little bit of white mixed in or it's too dark. Or if you want it to be darker, just make it darker. It's really up to you. Okay, so that's my little hand. There we go. Now, all I have left is my black. So to do my black, this is what I waited for the very end. This way my black does not mix up my other colors or make everything else turn a weird color of black. I'm just gonna dip that smaller brush that I have right into the black. I am gonna do the little bottoms of the mushrooms black. I'm gonna do his shoes black. Now, you do not have to do black shoes. Just in my imagination, that's what I think they wear. I think of like the 7 dwarfs, I guess, and when they go off to work, and I think of work shoes, and my little gnome, he's really not a worker because he has all these hearts on here and he likes flowers. He would rather daydream and pick flowers than he would like to go to work, but he still has his black shoes on because he has to go to work. All right, there's my little stem. Now, with that black on there, if I want to, I can come in and I can outline. I just want to caution you, if you are going to outline, like I can make my beard look a little curlier, just make sure that your brush is really, really thin. The other option, of course, is to get a Sharpie. You can always outline with a Sharpie. Let's see, so I've got my beard outlined. I'm gonna outline my nose. Again, it's totally up to you. If you do not wanna outline, don't outline. Or sometimes this is where you might get a grown-up to help you if you like the look of the outline. I am gonna outline my hearts on my hat. Let's see, all right. Ooh, that one got a little thick. So when my paint gets a little thick, I come over here to the paper towel and I roll the tip in my paper towel to make it pointy again. And then when I'm getting my color, I just get a little bitty bit of paint. And so now I'm pointy again and I don't have such a thin line. All right, so at this point, all I am doing is outlining. What I do need to do though is come back and put some polka dots on top of my little mushrooms. If you have a small sponge, you can do it that way. I'll finish outlining in a little bit. I'm gonna use the end of my brush. So I still have black on there. I'm not gonna rinse it, but I'm gonna take that tip and I am gonna put it right in the white, and look at that. I stick it in the white and then I go boop, 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 and there are my polka dots. Now I'm gonna come over to the other side and I'm gonna go boop, boop, boop. There's my polka dots. I can do about 3 polka dots before I need to dip in and get more paint. So I'm gonna go again, boop, 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 and there are my polka dots. Now, other than finishing my outline, I am done with my project. Finish your project and don't forget, send it to My Create Crate. You can find us on Instagram or Facebook under My Create Crate. You can also email me pictures. It's drawpaint@mycreatecrate.com. I can't wait to see your work, and we will be back to do your craft in just a little bit or whenever you're ready to turn the next video on. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining me today.